Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rise and Shine. I am Singapore's most gorgeous real estate agent, Daniel George. And over here, I have my lovely co-host.
Hi, I'm Farah Zach.
Have you ever wondered why you can have two developments in the same area, but then there's a huge price gap? Stay tuned to find out. Boom. Okay. So Farah, recently I went with my clients. They were looking around Tanjong Rhu.
Okay.
So I was doing my research, trying to find developments to go view but within their price range.
Okay.
So I was looking to Sanctuary Green because it met their price range, right? And I noticed opposite Sanctuary Green was Pebble Bay, another development. They're very close to each other. But the units in Sanctuary Green for around the same size was going at a significantly lower price. Pebble Bay.
Both of this development are quite old, right?
They are quite old.
Okay.
I think
It's a beautiful development. Both of them are
both
very
beautiful.
beautiful, but it's just slightly on the older range.
That's right. Pebble Bay is by CapitaLand and
CapitaLand.
Sanctuary Green is by Guacoland. My clients were also curious and they asked me, why is it that these two are relatively, they're old, sure, but they're around the same age, many years difference, but one is so expensive and one is significantly lower.
Different price range.
Exactly. So they're different price range, but they're in the same area. There is some difference.
Okay.
If you go visit Sanctuary Green, you'll notice that some blocks are facing the highway, the expressway. But from the map, if you look at Pebble Bay, it's facing the Longkang.
Oh, Longkang.
Sorry,
Okay.
no, not Longkang. It's facing the water body.
Water view.
I don't know what river, ocean, river,
They call it water
sea?
view.
Yeah,
I think it's sea lah. Consider
a
sea view
because,
lah.
okay, when I look at the map, it's like enclosed. It's like it's like Kallang Basin basically,
Okay,
a water
okay.
body, right?
All
so
right.
you get this. Let's say sea view. You get the sea view. You get like I think the marina view. So I wouldn't say maybe all the blocks are significantly higher or lower. I think it really matters where it's positioned. But also I noticed based on the floor plan, like the floor plan for Pebble Bay is very, I would say, normal.
Okay.
Like, it's a good shape and everything.
All right.
But when I went to Sanctuary Green and the units I viewed, the kitchen is a very odd shape. Almost
How odd is that?
almost like a pizza slice. So I feel like maybe these come into consideration, the odd shape facing the highway. So even though you get a very nice unit, very good size. Okay, so like a 4-bidder but 1,800 over square feet versus like let's say a 3-bidder or 4-bidder but around the same size too in Pebble Bay. One is going for like maybe 2.7, 2.8. Whereas in Pebble Bay for the same size, you will get 3.4, 3.5 million.
Ooh,
So it's
that's
a
lot of
significant
difference.
price gap. I was thinking, is it the developer that comes into effect? Maybe sometimes some developments have better finishings, better fittings. I don't know if this is the case in this scenario. I'm more with the views you get. Yeah, in the same area, but you get different views. And then I think it's also the floor plan. It's like a nice regular shape and one is a regular shape, but there are
Odd shape.
some odd shapes here and there.
Okay, maybe it's just
so.
those few stacks.
The units I viewed were all facing the highway. So maybe that's why they're all for sale.
I put in comparison.
Yep.
Okay, we do the similarity first, so at least we understand where this two development is coming from. Both are 99 years, are actually facing each other across the road. Both also being served by the nearest Tanjong Rhu MRT. Not much difference in distance to MRT also, about 100 meters.
Maybe just an extra 1-minute walk.
So basically the 100 meters will cost you another 500,000.
$100,000. If you want convenience, you want to like be closer to the MRT by 30 seconds and
Please pay
pay a
500,000.
few $100,000 for it. That's how much it costs you.
That's how much it costs you in District 15. Okay, so basically, this area, you have the upcoming stage 6 of Circle Line. This one I know, but it also adds on to the appeal of the area. You're facing the stadium. If you see from the map, it's facing.
Right, yeah.
And then the stadium is
Yes.
across the other side. And then you have another one which is under construction right now, which is the Founders Memorial on Thomson East Coast Line. That will be within 1 kilometer of these two condos. So basically, these are the similarities that you have. But when it comes to age, also not much difference lah.
Base 69 years.
Yeah, 1997.
Correct.
And then you have Century Green, which is 72 years. TOP in 2004.
Even the...
Okay lah. You're talking about 7 years lah. 7 years, quite a bit.
That's true. A lot can happen
Quite
in
a
1
bit.
year. Can you imagine 7 years?
Yes,
The number
7
of
years.
units.
I would have gotten married at that time. Thinking about it, 1997, I was still in school. 2004, I was already a senior stewardess.
97, I Commerce Primary 2.
Okay, bye.
Also, Sanctuary. Okay, let's talk about the land size.
Let's talk about the land size.
Is 24,233
33.
square meters with 522 units.
Okay.
Pebble Bay
It's about 32,237 square meter with 510 units.
So Pebble Bay is actually quite
Bigger land size.
but they both have almost the same number of units. 12 units less than Sanctuary Green.
So that means the units are much bigger. I mean, you saw?
Yeah, I think from what I saw, Pebble Bay has bigger size units.
So
Sanctuary Green has big size units, but not as many.
Okay.
So
Oh my God, blurps.
So if like you compare like 1,800 square feet units, I think Pebble Bay has more compared to Sanctuary Green.
Understand. Both, of course, because it's facing each other, the plot ratio is the same, which is 2.8. If you want to know what plot ratio, maybe next time we will talk about it.
Just tell them briefly what plot ratio is.
Okay, plot ratio is the density of the area. So how high can you build a building? So when you go to URA, they will tell you what is the plot ratio. The building can go up probably 24 floors high or 30 plus year, 30 plus 30 plus floors. Basically, we will just need to refer to the master plan from URA, then you will know how dense that plot basically is.
Yeah. Especially now if Paya Lebar Airbase is moving out, maybe we can save this topic for another episode.
Yes, I'm also going to show you this, basically, how well these both condos has been doing. So that if ever you decide to buy into the area, let's say Tanjong Ru, Pebble Bay, and some people have their own taste. Older development because of the size, because of the amenities, and they like how quiet it is.
Yeah.
Prefer to buy into projects that is older. So these are the kind of projects that they might be looking into. Would you like this kind of projects if you're given a choice?
I think for me, if the space is important,
Okay.
so if that's why I think older projects would be good if you want space, but I also want something that still looks modern. So if I were to get an older unit, as long as I renovate it, then why not?
So it can look old from the outside, but looks modern on the inside.
Exactly.
Got it.
Just like me. So that's about to say, just like me, look old from the outside.
Okay, now
but
you know
very young
why we
inside.
are co-hosting.
Exactly. Facilities within these projects. Okay, so Pebble Bay has a gym, they have swimming pools, squash court, tennis court, clubhouse, the usual. Not a lot of new developments have squash court.
Squash court.
Something the older, I noticed in
I know they want to have tennis court.
Tennis for
but
sure.
Squash court. Interesting. I know one. Loyang Valley has one.
Yeah, I noticed even actually in Marine Parade area, all the older developments there, they always have
Squash
courts.
Interesting.
More so than tennis courts. Okay, but let's see. Sanctuary Green, same thing. Gym, squash court, tennis court, swimming pool, around the same thing. So facilities more or less the same.
Difference for these two particular condos, other than the age, remaining lease, is also partly the view lah. Some stack
view.
of unit Pebble Bay will be overlooking the
Longkang.
sea. Don't say lah. It looks like sea lah.
I know it's the sea,
Yeah.
the
It's
sea
a
view. Of
sea
course.
feeling.
I've
Sea
actually never heard
feeling.
that before, so I'm gonna steal that joke.
Ocean feel sounds good. Will that be good? It's not even ocean. Oh my god.
Delicious.
Water view?
Oh, sea view? Okay, it's
No lah,
technically
it's not
a
sea. It must
but
be a
it's technically not a
water.
sea, but yeah. But I mean, who says water view?
Have.
Is it?
Have.
Okay.
Because the time I was doing this project, so I was involved in one of the project. It was actually overlooking Longkang lah, to be honest. But I said, don't say Longkang, must say water view. Oh, but we are seeing a positive side of the area. So if it's Longkang to you, it's not Longkang, it's actually water view. These two projects, right, these two developments is equivalent to these other two projects, upcoming project. They already launched, so it's considered post-launch already. So we have a few projects like between D15. What is so special about District 15 then? Since you are a native D15 resident.
That's right.
So we want to hear something from you. What is so special about District 15?
You know what? Everyone is coming to D15, I think, because I live there. Honestly, but besides me, I think it's just...
No comment.
It's just the aesthetics, it's the vibe.
Okay.
You know, if you go to town, it's usually so crowded, but now I think D15 is going to get really crowded. It's also just like you have that Peranakan heritage there in D15, so it looks very hipster, cafe vibes along Juchet. So I think maybe people come to D15 for that.
Because I would love to be in D15. It gives me those edgy, retro, but it's like the vibe is vibing.
Where are you getting getting this from?
I'm trying to be Gen Z.
It's vibing. The
The vibe
you
is
are by the
vibing.
beach, so you got.
Hey, my house also near beach, right?
Yeah, I mean D15, D16,
Yeah.
relatively close. We're just neighbours. But yeah,
Even Pasir Ris also got beach.
even Sembawang has a beach too. But yes,
Sembawang.
we digress. So
Okay.
D15 is so popular.
No.
There were basically 4 launches last year and this year included.
Actually, we have quite a few. The bigger ones that you know are Tembusu Grand, the Continuums,
Grand Dunman
Grand Dunman,
and the latest one.
Emerald of Katong. Of course, not forgetting other residents, Arts Leisure, Clayden's, K-Suite, Straits at Juchat, and of course, coming up soon, there's Arena East Residences.
That was a mouthful, man.
Yeah,
Good job.
let's say we bring this to now, future. Let's compare apple to apple.
Okay.
I'm not going to compare the Continuum because Continuum is freehold, right? Okay, let's bring this to current projects, modern day
Yeah.
Singapore. And so we compare this to development that is in District 15 as well. So it will be Tembusu Grand facing another project which is Emerald of Katong. First thing, currently EOK is 99% sold.
98.7% in launch weekend. Average per square foot of 2621
2621. That will be on average during preview time.
during the launch weekend. Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Right.
Right now, Tembusu Grand on average was sold at 2,462 with the highest PSF at $2,791.
Wow.
Yeah, Tembusu Grand was launched in April 2023. Fast forward 1 year later, which was November 2024, last year, Emerald of Katong on average sold 2,638 with the highest PSF at 2,973. So between these two projects, what is the obvious difference that you can see?
Obvious difference. Actually, come to think about it, those that bought first would benefit because they buy at a lower PSF, and then now all these other new launches come up, the price just goes up and up. So they are able to have that buffer to meet the higher prices.
Okay, knowing EOK land sale is cheaper than Tembusu Grand, but they managed to sell higher, at least $200 more than Tembusu Grand. Just the difference of 1 year. Does that make a lot of difference?
I think, like we said earlier, 1 year makes a lot of difference.
For obvious reasons, Tembusu Grand was introduced pre-harmonization. Pre-harmonization, and EOK was introduced post-harmonization. So if you really calculate the square footage, guys, we really talk about harmonization because this makes a lot of difference. We will talk about it on the next episode, explain to you what is harmonization.
Yeah, we need a full episode for that.
Yeah, we need a full episode of harmonization. Pre-harmonization and post-harmonization, there's a lot of difference in terms of the pricing. It might seem cheaper, but in actual fact, they are almost the same. So not much difference. At least you will understand this after you see our next episode, harmonization.
Yep, so
okay, like EOK win one thing, got park lah in front. They got N park in front. Which
But EOK and Tembusu Grand are basically side by side neighbors. So it's like the previous two where the MRT is just maybe like 100 meters away.
Yes,
Extra.
correct. They actually share the same criteria, the same school within the same distance. They have the same MRT. Everything most the same, right?
So why is it EOK managed to almost sell out to Tembusu Grand?
Okay, EOK probably, from my understanding, or this is what I think. Because it was not rumored, the last lot of Tanjung Katong GLS, and then price, the introduction price and the GLS, since it's cheap, a lot cheaper. This is post-harmonization, so what can we get from there? Basically, this is what I understand lah. A lot of people want to enter into District 15. This is, since you say that this is the last plot, everybody, FOMO ma, yeah, everybody also want to buy. If it's me also, I want to buy, but I cannot buy because of obvious reasons. If I could, I would. Think there's a lot of agents who rush to buy EOK also, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's like you got to practice what you preach, right? Sometimes.
Yeah,
so
true.
If how you're going to sell the unit to your client, so
Yeah.
you buy it yourself too.
I think that EOK is slightly bigger than Tembusu Grand by about almost 200 units or more than that, more than 200 units. So it's a bigger development and has a lot more facilities, quite a few pools. But it's really a beautiful, okay, I can't keep saying it's beautiful, but this one I believe is very beautiful. I love the grand entrance, the way they do the whole layout, the landscaping, the architecture. I love EOK. To be honest, I really love. I was looking at my husband thinking that how. Then he looked at me, how white? I just keep quiet.
I think I also think because, right, Tembusu Grand was one of the first big launches that it started the ball rolling. So people knew there were going to be other projects coming up. Hence why they sold, not only, but they sold 53% because they already had knew like maybe they wanted to see the other ones first, not rush into one project, right? EOK was the very last big launch happening there. Hence they were like, okay, this is the last one. Like there's nothing else coming up. And then it was the same time as Chuan Park. So it was either Chuan Park or Katong. So I think if they didn't get Chuan Park, then they FOMO a bit. But then they went into EOK, and that's why EOK did so well. On top of everything else, it was an amazing development, great floor plan. But I also think it's because on a more superficial level, it's more because they just wanted to get, this was the last one already in D15, right? So those that didn't manage to get EOK because maybe they had a bad ballot number, I think they all rushed to Continuum, Grand Dunman, and
Tembusu Grand as well.
Grand.
Yeah, I heard this during the balloting. A lot of them couldn't get good numbers.
There were so many checks submitted.
I think about 3,000 plus. 846 unit, 3,000
So
plus.
the ballot number was so important.
Oh, let's go. Well done, EOK.
Yes, well done to all the D15 new launches and Chuan Park.
Him and his D15.
Actually, all the new launches have been doing so well, mostly. But yeah, I think there was a lot of FOMO involved.
I believe so as well.
Buying process.
So this is the difference. You see, sometimes even though you are side by side or you cross each other, you will see that the other project will be doing slightly better than the other project. Of course, there's a list of reasons why these developments are doing better, and we can always share it with you. Of course, this would be a much more detailed analysis when it comes to each development. So if you want to find out more on this, of course, we can always have a chat. You can call me or you can call Dan, and then we can sort this out if these are the developments that you might be interested in, the projects that you might be interested in, whether it's resale or new project.
I noticed, right, the Tembusu Grand, Emerald of Katong, Grand Dunman are all leasehold 99, but they sold significantly higher than the Continuum Freehold. Continuum did sell 26.5% on launch weekend, even though it's Freehold, but with Freehold comes a premium price.
Yes.
So I think their average price was about 2732 PSF. I think this shows that even though it's Freehold versus 99, people are still into 99 years old.
99.
So, 99. People are still impressed, and they still choose to purchase a leasehold property over a freehold.
Ultimately, I feel like it depends on what are your intention. Yeah, if your intention are more towards investment. If you're talking about freehold, most of the time people are always looking into, what do you call that?
Legacy.
Legacy. Oh my God. They are looking into legacy.
Legacy planning.
Legacy planning. And people are always very proud whenever they buy a freehold property.
I brought up the point to show that I think people are still investing in 99 and not always just freehold only.
But when we talk about District 15, there are quite a few, not quite a few, I think there's a lot of freehold development around the area. You have mostly smaller developments, boutique condos. Continuum can hardly find it's a freehold development with all the premium fittings, furnishing from very, very well known and established developer. To be honest, it's one of those that you should be looking into if you're looking into freehold development, brand new launch unit.
And it's on 2 amazing plots of land. It's connected by a bridge.
Nice.
So you have all the facilities on one plot and another set of facilities on the other plot. So if your plot is like the gym is busy or the pool is crowded, just make your way to the next plot.
Yeah, it reminds me of the new development that is coming up very soon.
Which one? There's so many.
Park Town.
Oh yes, Park Town Residences.
Yeah,
I'll be there this weekend. I'll see you.
But Park Town is coming up. That is like a combination of 2 condos in one. On top of that, it's a mega development. It is one of the biggest integrated transport hub as well.
It's gonna be the new iconic building of Tampines.
It's gonna be no more just Tampines Mall, Century Square, and Tampines One.
That is so 2020.
No,
now it's
don't say that. Don't say that. People love Tampines
I'm
Mall.
kidding. I love Tampines too. I grew up in like Tampines Hub.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a new, not to say a new, but it's another part of Tampines that will be considered brand new town in a matured estate.
Yes, they're starting a new township in that area.
So that's that for this episode.
We hope you enjoyed yourself, and until our next episode, I'm Daniel George.
And I'm Farah Zach.
We'll see you then.
Bye.